What's up? Oh. What's up there, Metal Summoners? Happy Thursday to everybody. We really appreciate you guys always being so awesome and so down for the cause. And most importantly, looking out for, supporting, and just rooting for all the amazing artists that Angel and I get to spend time with, talk about music, talk about shop, and everything in between. So thank you so much, everybody, for being super down for our schedules as we try to be as accommodating as we can to the guests that we have on this show. So we're rocking out tonight with you guys on a Thursday episode of TMS. So welcome back to your Island of Misfit Toys. Myself, Angel, and then of course our beloved Psycho Steve, who rocks in the back. But we are bringing back a TMS alumnus. You might remember this guy from a couple of seasons and a couple of years back, but that was because we were talking about the debut EP of his band. Now we've got fresh things to talk about. This is really exciting because we've been promoting it over the last few days ever since his announcement, and we get a deep dive and open up the door as we enter Blade Manor. So Emilio Menze, my friend, it is so great to see you again. Welcome back to the show. Thank you so much for reaching out. And like I told you off the air, and it's super important to start off the episode. First and foremost, welcome back to the Metal Summit. But dude, congratulations on Blade Manor next week. Dude, that album is so good, man. Like, you should be proud, dude. It's really great.
First off, thank you both very much for having me back. Love the Metal Summit. And you're the first people I've talked to about the new record. I've done some interviews through email for some publications, but the two of you are the first people I actually get to talk to about the record who have actually heard it, besides my close circle.
Yep.
So thanks, guys.
Dude, hell yeah. Thank you so much, man. But of course, with any kind of artist, and band, that's putting out new albums and new music, that's always got to be really, really exciting in its own right. But the thing I find so interesting about Blade Manor and Dark Ride's newest record is taking you back to when we got to interview you the first time, where you were talking about kind of your philosophy when it comes to music, which is, not giving it all away per se, where you were pretty steadfast about like, well, I have the songs I like to feature, the music videos I think work best at whatever time is appropriate, but not being overly anxious about thrusting out music that you don't necessarily feel is ready to be put out there until you can kind of get, for not the machine in the traditional music business way, but you know what I mean, but get the machine behind it in a proper fashion. And so it's been quite a moment since the original Dark Ride EP up to Blade Manor. So if you don't mind, give us a little look behind the curtain on how it was in the crafting of the record.
Yeah, so pretty much after the first EP came out in 2020, I went right to work on Blade Manor, and I think we started recording drums in 2021, and it's technically been done for years now, more or less, maybe like 90% done. And there were things out of my control that prevented it from coming out sooner, and some parts of it just weren't right yet. It just wasn't the best it could be until now, and now it's finally seeing the light of day. Like some of these songs, for instance, Rewind, I tried to get on the first EP, but it wasn't quite ready yet. So I waited. I'm glad I did, because now it kind of got what it deserves in terms of production and the right sound.
Absolutely, for sure. And when it came to Rewind specifically as well, since that song, was right there on the cusp of the first EP, it has a music video that you put out for it. Was that a definite plan when it came to this song? Is like, of however many songs you decide to feature as singles and do music videos for, was this a song that you were like, I need this one to definitely be a single, like Anti-Hero was on your first record, for example?
Good question. I think I looked at it more like Rewind was the best representation of Dark Ride as a whole, like all around. And also, it gave me a lot to work with for a music video, for the ideas, for the colors, etc., etc. And it's kind of funny because that music video is almost 3 years old now. Like we filmed it, almost 3 years ago at Terror Traders in Phoenix, and it's finally seeing the light of day. That's why 2 of my guitarists are not in it, because we shot it so long ago, and we've just been waiting for the right time, which has been super frustrating. And I do apologize to my fans and friends who have been looking forward to new Dark Ride music and had to wait so long, but I promise it is worth the wait.
Yes, I can definitely confirm that. I was one of those fans and friends. I was, blessed with your consent for myself and Angel to get to
Me
sample
too.
the record to prepare. So absolutely, fans, friends of the band, you guys are definitely in for a treat. 8 days, just
Jay,
hang out a little bit longer. Yes, sir.
Do you got a favorite so far? Just out of curiosity.
Favorite song on the record?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So it's funny, I was talking to Emilio the other day, and I was like, I do love the way that the album is like shaping up. I think between Coffin and Rewind alone is really, really good. But one of the other things that I really like dug on it, because again, I'm such a virtual like learner when it comes to like music and the things that are like aesthetic and like such a cool like design for it. So like one of the things that I know that I also really, really dug for the record was like I loved Electric. I thought that one was like super duper cool. I was a big fan of that one. I think it's track 4, I believe. I'm Electrocuted. I thought Electrocuted was super duper cool. I was really into that one. But I'm also a really big fan of Rest in Peace.
Oh, thank you.
And
I very much appreciate that. Thank you for the nice words. I wanted to say something about Electrocuted in general. There's 2 things that are really special about it. One thing is that there is a secret guest vocalist that does the woes on the bridge, and he also does the last chorus. But what I really wanted to mention about Electrocuted was it was the very last track my former bass player from Stellar Corpses, Dan Lamotte, played on before his passing in 2023.
Wow.
So it is so special to me for that. And he was more of an upright bass player, but he played electric on that song, and just I was so impressed with his leads and his fills. It really reminded me of Hunter's playing from AFI, who's my favorite bassist of all time.
Nice.
So I'm just so grateful that Dan did that for me, and I think it turned out really fantastic. And myself and my bass player Jesus were trying to figure out all the little things he was doing, all the fills and the intricate little things, and it was tough because Dan was no joke on the bass, and he was also my best friend and my bandmate of 15 years. So, like I said, near and dear to my heart that he played on that song. So I'm really glad you like it.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely, man, for sure. With based on a completely, of course, up to dealer's choice with how much you want to speak on this. I'd love to take a moment to talk about that. Of course, based respectfully on your discretion, because from the loss of Dan happened between our official conversations on this show, and anytime you lose a close friend and a bandmate, especially in such a sudden fashion, there's nothing easy about it regardless. But when you look back at not only just his legacy as a musician, but as a person, does this song hold any, like specific extra feelings for you outside of course, the him getting to play on it, and he's now going to be remembered even more so forever through your music outside of Stellar Corpses. So, but what are just some of your fondest memories of Dan, and then ultimately with this, this really cool, like unofficial tribute in Electrocuted?
Yeah, it kind of worked out nicely because the song itself is about when something bad happens to you or something, a tragedy, and it's about how you deal with it. If you let it keep you down forever, or if you use it as fuel to keep going and to move forward, improve yourself. So I like that is the message behind the song, even before we recorded it. To answer your question about Dan, I mean, I worked with him for so long in Stellar. There's so many years on the road and on the stage together. But I always tell people we had two favorite memories that him and I always talked about. One was we both got to tour Europe when we were in Stellar Corpses opening for Resurrects in 2008. So I was 22 and he was 23. So we were just kids touring Europe for 5.5 weeks. And it was insane and wild and awesome. And it was so much fun for both of us. And the second memory is we lived in Redondo Beach for a month when we recorded Dead Stars Drive-In, the Stellar Corpses record. And we had so much fun. It was our job to just record literally for a month while living in a beautiful place in Southern California. So we had a lot of fun. Like, we went to Disneyland, we went and saw Danzig, we saw Echo and the Bunnymen, like when we weren't recording. And and of course, I think that record came out really good too. So I'm, aside from the douchebag singer, but I'm really proud of it for my part and Dan's part and Kyle's part.
Oh no, absolutely. Like musically, for what the band was, for your contributions to the scene, I still listen to Stellar Corpse music on the regular. I have a horror punk, playlist right on my phone that I listen to regularly. That's got, Dark Ride, it's got Stellar Corpses, it's got Silent Horror, it's got Goolsby, and all that great stuff. Like, unfortunately, when it comes to that scenario, this is a positivity show. We're not going to go into a deep dive. It's not necessary or worth it. But that's life, I suppose, and just bad humans are just out there. But musically, the band always had such a great sound style. You guys definitely had a really cool thing. I did, I got to see Stellar Corpses, outside of the time that you also toured, with Michael, as well as one of the times that you and I got to reconnect was at Jason's memorial concert, which was
that's right.
really, really cool.
Yes.
So that was really, really awesome as well when it came to that. And as a final portion of this segment before I kick it over to Angel and let him take it away for a little while, because again, like it's a small part of Stellar Corpses, but that's not a main, by any means a main focus. I just think it's a little bit kind of a cool thing to talk about here is when we talked to you the first time, obviously Dark Ride was also very new at the time. And you had talked about, using Stellar Corpses songs in your set to kind of fill out a proper set with, songs that you definitely had a major, writing credit in morphing and things like that. Being that the album has been so completed for so long, so to speak, it's probably been a very cool experience. And of course, correct me if I'm wrong, that you've been able to do Dark Ride sets of Dark Ride music. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to see you guys live yet. The giant country in between us has been a little bit tricky, but I know we will definitely connect for a Dark Ride set. But I know you guys have played at Nosferatu Fest and so on and so forth. But anyway, getting back on point, talk a little bit about the last, few years when it comes to performing live, because I can only imagine you've been able to put some of these songs in the set based off, your discretion and where you feel they fit to make it a proper Dark Ride set.
Yeah. So aside from our tour with Necromantics in 2024, we don't play a whole lot. I kind of try to make it where if there's a dark ride show, I want it to be like a big event, like a big deal. I feel like if we're playing Santa Cruz all the time, it's not as special. Not like there's anything wrong with that. I would just rather have it be like focused and intentional, like big event shows. And we have incorporated some of the new songs into the set, but it's not that it's not fun, but it's hard when the crowd doesn't know the songs yet. You know,
Sure.
people know Anti-Hero and Best Friend's Exorcism, but like nobody knew the words to Rewind or Coffin. And you know, here and there we've tried like putting in Do or Die. We played Rest in Pieces once or twice. But it's just tough because even if the song rocks, people don't know it. They're gonna be stiff. They're not gonna act like they're having fun even. So it's kind of a pain. And in the early days of Dark Ride, I did throw a couple Stellar Corpses songs into the set. And on this last recording session, we actually did re-record a Stellar Corpses song. It didn't make it on Blade Manor, but I'll use it for something eventually. We also recorded a Ramones cover too. So
nice.
More cool stuff coming eventually.
Absolutely, man, for sure, 100%. Angel, my good man, always appreciate you, brother. Let's kick it to you, man. Take it away.
Man, you got the best damn instrumental. I just want to say that. I'm not gonna give it away, but it got to the end. I thought it was gonna rock, and that was the end of it. I went back. I'm like, did it skip? What? But it was just an instrumental. But that really kicked ass.
Oh, just Seascape Samhain.
Yeah, I was trying not to give it away.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, I've been trying. Me too. I've been trying to pick my battles on what titles we're allowed to talk about a week in advance.
Let's talk about them all. Whatever you guys want for any of the new songs, please. Yeah, go for it.
Cool.
But definitely, I guess because Jay knows this. I'm a sucker for a good title. So, Life at the End of October. That one, great title, great song.
Thank you, Angel. That it's funny you mentioned that. So that song is all because of Mr. Monster, Jason Trioxin's band. Also, rest in peace, one of my very good friends. The next Mr. Monster record that was going to come out after Over Your Dead Body, he had called it Life at the End of October, and was writing the title track, Life at the End of October. I never got to hear it. I never got to hear any of his ideas for it before he passed, unfortunately. So Life at the End of October on Blade Manor is just my imagination kind of whipping together what it could have been, maybe. And I also encourage any other bands to make their own Life at the End of October. I think it'd be kind of neat if every band had a different version, like not covering my version, but make their own entire version. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It's a song that is definitely gonna be stuck on my mind every Halloween. Because I'll be thinking, what is my life like today?
Yeah, that's the idea, man. I mean, I'm so I love like 90s stuff. I love 80s stuff too, but I love 1990s Halloween. So that was very inspirational to me, thinking back to being a kid and then a teenager in the 90s and stuff like the SNCC specials, the TGIF specials, or just even like the McDonald's like Happy Meal buckets, like all that rich 90s Halloween stuff. I tried to incorporate that into the songwriting, basically.
And man, Do or Die to me is like if Eddie Van Halen did a punk song, that's what it would sound like. That's the best way I can describe it.
That's a great compliment. Thank you, Angel. You know, my producer, Randy Moore, wrote all the music to that song and gifted it to me. And that's what came out, Do or Die. And he's obviously an incredible guitarist and musician and my brother and friend. But yeah, glad you like that one. That one, I think, is super fun to do live because people love the guitars. And I think the chorus catches on easily.
Yeah, that Do or Die. I mean, besides, of course, I love titles, but also just love the song as well. I'm like, wow, if Eddie Van Halen did a punk song, yeah, this is what it would sound like.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm glad you like it, man.
But definitely a great record. Just the one thing I've been noticing lately is that a lot of bands going into 2026 are more into doing albums as opposed to singles and EPs. So my compliments to that, because some of us still love albums. I still got a car that plays CDs.
Oh,
So
cool.
2014, I can still pop in the CD, and I love it. It's like my biggest joy because it's like I feel like a teenager again when you used to be able to do that.
Yeah, good point. I agree.
When it came to naming the album, how did you come up with the title of the record?
Another good question. So I'm kind of trying this, like, how do I say it? I'm stretching a storyline across a few different records of something that happened in my hometown when I was a kid in the 90s, in Seascape, which is a suburb of Aptos, which is a suburb of Santa Cruz. It's like the sleepiest beach town ever. So each record, I'm kind of giving another new little piece of what happened. Like on the first EP, the instrumental is called Mistress Blade, and it's the same. I'm talking about the same family in the same place, in the song Blade Manor and the record Blade Manor. So yeah, it seemed like the right thing to call it, in the right direction to go in. And yeah, each record I'll give another piece. That kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
And it's a real place too.
Nice.
So when you start playing live, how will you decide which songs to put into the set list?
Man, so yeah, we've been rehearsing a lot, and we are working on getting all of the backing, like tracks, like the synthesizers and the sound effects, everything to play like in stereo with us, like perfectly on time. So we're kind of just seeing what works best, and it's some trial and error. But I would like to be able for us to play them all. Like if somebody yells out "electrocuted," we could just nail it, or if somebody yells out "ruined," we could just nail it. But I'm a big believer in like making a set list flow and making it unique. So we're just kind of in the throes of that right now. We're working on all that stuff right now. So I don't think we're playing till the end of May. So we've got a little bit of time to experiment.
When it comes to doing a set list, are you someone that likes sticking to a certain set list, or do you like to mix it up? Like at the next show, you'll do something, a completely different set list.
In a perfect world, I would like to mix it up at every show. That way it makes it so I feel like fans will be like, oh, I can't miss Dark Ride because they might play this song that night, or they might surprise us with that song. Like AFI on their last tour pulled out so many like deep cuts and like cool songs. Some of them that they only played like once the entire tour, and to me that just makes it be like makes me feel like, oh, I can't miss a show. But to answer your question, that's also really difficult to do and takes a lot of practice. And myself and my bandmates all have day jobs, so we'll see.
Awesome. No, because like with some of my favorite classic bands, I'm like, oh, the same fucking set list.
I definitely want to avoid that. Like I never want people to be like, I've already seen this show.
Yeah, like I'm like, no, this is the 35th anniversary tour of Hysteria. Play something else.
Exactly.
I'm sorry. I had to say the name of the band. I'm sorry, but
by the way, it's unusually hot in Santa Cruz right now, so I apologize if I'm sweating a bit, but it is.
No, I heard it's gonna be
today. In the
I heard it's gonna be triple digits.
Oh yeah,
this weekend.
Oh, rough.
Damn.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it's hot enough that will probably make Tommy Lee play naked.
And how is that different from any other show?
Yeah, that's true.
Drumsticks.
Right. No, for sure. So, Emilio, let's also talk a little bit when it comes to Blade Manor. Let's talk a little bit about like art because, dude, that album cover's bitching, dude.
Yes,
And
it is.
when you look at the original EP, I love it because it's got that old school kind of like traditional fun Halloween feel to it where anybody who's familiar kind of like that's with that song like spooky scary skeletons, like for example there's a musician who I'm actually going to see this weekend at Creature Feature that I'm excited about. His name's Aurelio Voltaire, if you're familiar with him.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of what he does, but he's that kind of surf rock Halloween gothy acoustic style. So he uses a lot of those like old traditional like 50s Disney style sound effects that kind of give me that spooky scary skeletons vibe. And that's what I thought was so cool about your album cover with the skeleton, the girl in the bed, and so on and so forth. I love the black and blue aesthetic. This one is very like this one's super up my alley. Like I mean, just bats in the clouds and dark and stormy nights. So I
The kind of tattoo that Jay would get.
Oh, absolutely, for sure. We were already talking about the puppy skull. Which
If Jay had space in his body, he would get this as a tattoo.
Put it on my leg. Put it on my whole like thigh. but yeah, Emilio, Blade Manor album art. Let's talk about it.
Thank you, man. I'm so glad you like it, and the reception to it has been so positive, and it makes me really happy. The first time that the artist, her name's Jessie Hart, she's like an excellent tattoo artist. I actually met her at Whorehound Weekend a few years ago. She did a rough sketch for me, and I approved it. I gave her the idea. I kind of wanted like a half bat wing and a big full moon, and like the purple clouds were really important to me, and like the reddish kind of like translucent. I don't know what you call it, the cartilage of the bat wing. All of the colors are important to me. So I approved her sketch, and then when she showed me, she sent me like a video of the finished painting, and the painting is two big squares because she did the back of the record as well that has all the song titles.
Okay.
So it's a full bat, but she did it in two pieces. But when she showed me the video, I was at work and just took a quick look at it, and it brought a tear to my eye because it was so goddamn good. And I'm so picky with artwork that a lot of times when the artist, if I hire somebody, when they show me the finished piece, I'm always like kind of hesitant and cringing, like to look at it because I know I'm going to ask for a lot of changes and be a pain. But I was so blown away. Like I said, it brought a tear to my eye, and I'm just so happy with it. And I love like the you could see like a little bit of orange in the Batwing too.
Yes.
Like it really looks translucent. It's just stellar. So I'm forever grateful to her for that.
No, that's awesome, man, for sure. Yeah, no, the purple clouds, I mean, the whole color scheme, like it pops really well. And if anybody heard what you said the way I heard what you said, which was that the idea of the purple clouds has a personal connection to you in some way, I think is like really, really cool for sure.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Thank you. And it was funny because like once I had the painting scanned, myself and my graphics artist, I call her the graphics Jedi because she's so good. We tried a million different variations of the Dark Ride logo and the Blade Manor logo, different colors, you name it, everything, man. And I think that that hot kind of bubblegum punk rock pink made it all come together. I'm so happy with it. We tried fucking everything. It was exhausting.
Well, you've definitely never shied away from those like color schemes. I mean, as a guy who's got most, if not all of your merch, you did that strip like shirt that had like the pink and purple like logo. I think that was still when you were still using dominantly, like you were still using the Dark Ride font, but I think you were still kind of using the skull and coffin, if I remember correctly. You know what shirt I'm talking about? It was sort of like kind of like a racer stripe. I think you then did like a glow in the dark version.
Oh, yes. It's like a wave with the bat in the sun.
Yeah.
Yes. That. So yeah, thanks, man. I wanna bring that shirt back, but it's so it's so expensive to print because of all the different colors and the color grade. But I'm gonna bring it back eventually. I actually just ordered 100 big rectangle stickers of that design. So
nice.
I'll probably put those in with each order of the vinyl too.
Sick. Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome, man, for sure.
But thank you. I'm so glad you like that.
Oh, absolutely. But also, speaking of merch, I mean, you've been very like merch forward when it comes to stuff. I'm definitely been a forward thinker when it comes to that. But it also looks like you've been tweaking a little bit with the Dark Ride logo recently, just based on some posts you've made. That anybody who follows the Dark Ride social medias has probably seen, where you've been doing this puppy skull logo now for a while. That's been also transitioned into a series of body art for a lot of your, you know, fans and friends of the band, and myself will be included in there as well. I've just been like trying to make time for some new sessions. But you did a cool post recently with like the puppy skull and like a circular logo, where you also were talking about kind of the old and the new. So I can only imagine, my friend, that you've got like definite plans for updated merch.
Yes, first of all, thank you. And I look at the Blade Manor release as kind of like it's a clean slate for the band to come out with all new designs. So we've got tons of ideas. I've got a couple concrete ones that hopefully I will have done by May. It's just tough, man, because like I want to have everything. Like I want to have tote bags, t-shirts, obviously. I want to have baseball jerseys, hoodies. I want to have hats, etc., etc. It's all so much money up front, and we are an independent band, so I do what I can or what the credit cards will allow. And I eventually sell it all. It's just not all right away. But the circle logo that you brought up is an homage to the Stellar Corpses logo. It's literally the same dimensions and everything. I just wanted it to look weathered and say Santa Cruz instead of SC Psycho. But I thought that would be cool. We have a really cool design coming for the song I Bury Boyfriends that my very good friend Katie designed for us that I love. I think it's really cool, but you'll be the judge.
Hey,
I like that song.
Oh yeah, for sure. Definitely a good one there. But also a topic for discussion real quick that I definitely think is incredibly important that we not pass over is anybody who's familiar with horror punk, the scene, the legacy that it has, knows the name of your label. And I feel like Angel and I will not be doing our jobs correctly if we don't address Fiend Force. So we got to hear the story. How did those talks happen? Because Fiend Force had been around for quite a while. And again, you can set the record straight on anything that may or may not get misconstrued in this statement. But like Fiend Force is a legendary label for the scene. Been around for a really long time. Seemed like it went away or went on hiatus, or maybe just simply became a little smaller as times change in the music business. But anyway, talk about how those conversations went, and congratulations on being on Fiend Force Records.
Thank you. The owner of Fiend Force, Torsten, who is Rod Usher from The Other, is an old friend of mine. The very first Stellar Corpses show I ever played in Corona, California, was with The Other, Blitzkid, Resurrects, and Order of the Fly. It was like such a killer lineup. The first night I met Torsten, also Goolsby, TV, all those awesome people that I love now, my friends. So Torsten and I have always kept in touch, and like I loved what he did with This Is Horror Punk 1 and 2, and I found out about so many bands just through that. So yeah, I think I'm not sure on all the details, but they did stop for a few years, and Torsten brought it back with his partner Flo. He was a super awesome musician in person, and they wanted to do it again. And we've been talking for years because I've been showing them the Blade Manor. I mean, the early unmastered, barely mixed cuts of like Rewind and Coffin. And I had originally wanted Blade Manor to be an EP, like the first one, like 5 or 6 songs. But Torsten really wanted a full length. So we recorded more songs and then they liked it, but they wanted even more songs. So we went back to the studio and recorded 3 more songs, which are Life at the End of October, Rest in Pieces, and the Stellar Corpses cover. So
Nice.
2 of those 3 made it to the record. And yeah, it took some time and a lot of kind of stars had to align. But once it got rolling, here we are. I blink and the record's basically here. And by the way, it's such a trip to me to think that in 8 days it's going to come out and everybody's going to get to hear and enjoy the songs. And it makes me so happy, truly. Yeah. And yes, I'm so grateful to Torsten for believing in me for all these years and always checking in on me. And I mean, he was the one that got us to play in Germany this past summer. We played in Germany. At the big like legendary goth festival that people come from all around the world to go to, the WGT. And it was just a dream come true to perform in Europe again, and especially on such a big stage. And so I'm just forever grateful to Torsten and Flo and Fiend Forest and Massacre Records for believing in us. It's really wonderful.
Absolutely, my friend, for sure. And final thing from me here before I kick it back up to Angel and let him take it away again is this is just because this is a fun question, because all of us, grew up, starting off in the 80s and of course growing up in the 90s when a certain awesome and popular movie rental store was a thing. And I started noticing these plastic cards that were making their way through social media. So I've got to ask, because I just think it's sick. What is the story behind these Rewind Blockbuster cards, brother? Because they're awesome. And I'm going to ask you outright, how do I get one if I'm allowed to get one?
So I'm glad you liked it, man.
So
we're
awesome.
always trying to, oh, sorry.
No, it's just like, yeah, they're so awesome.
I agree. We're always trying to think of unique, cool, kind of outside the box ways to promote and just spread the word. And my bassist Jesus Lopez is so creative and so artistic. He came up with that idea, and he actually made a version that's Hollywood video cards as well. He had several different drafts, like some with blood, some without, etc. So he came up with that concept, and then he handmade all of those cards, and it was very difficult. And we would have made more, but it was just harder than we thought.
Totally.
But yeah, some of the people we sent them to, I don't know if they actually got them or not. We didn't hear anything back, but yeah, I can. I'm gonna see him right after this, so I'll see what I can do.
No worries, brother. Absolutely sick. But yeah, no, I tell people all the time, like when I get into conversations about just like, youth and movies and all this kind of stuff. And I would talk about how, and again, this is just my personal opinion, but I will die on the hill. I will die on the sword for this fight that, and again, it's a knock on current social media, but it's not meant to be disrespectful. It's just the way the world changes over years. Is like, without those stores, Hollywood Video, Blockbuster Video, like sleepovers alone were so much cooler and so much better when we were all kids, because they always had the same formula. You chose the house where the parents of that child were the chaperones. Everybody went over, they ordered a bunch of pizzas because it was easy for kids. You went to Blockbuster, the parents turned a blind eye. They all knew that you were going to rent a movie y'all weren't supposed to be watching, but they turned a blind eye. So we were always ordering, getting Friday the 13th or Lair of the White Worm or Nightmare on Elm Street or whatever, something that we were drastically too young to be watching. And it was always the same thing. And just without having those like actual movie rental stores, it's, definitely kind of a bummer. And I've always stood very fast on my soapbox that, like, because we don't have those anymore, you can say what you want about streaming services. You can say what you want about a home's ability to keep the children entertained, but there was simply something about going out in the adventure to rent that movie you're not supposed to be watching that I feel takes a little bit of the the youth out of euthanasia. I
Yeah.
suppose, because it always seemed to be horror movies. That was always kind of a thing. So I got a lot of personal joy out of watching these like rewind cards just kind of go out into the ether, because I was like, it was something that I could connect with just as an outsider, like watching you guys do it, where it's like, man, I remember all of that. And there's even been conversations that I've had with babes where I was like, man, if we could get out to either Oregon or Alaska or wherever it is, I'm damn sure going to go to that last surviving Blockbuster store if I'm
Yes.
ever able to get out there.
Yes, it's in Bend, Oregon. Yes.
That's what it is, Oregon. That's what I thought.
So I couldn't have put it better. I completely agree with you. And I highly recommend, if you haven't already seen it, there's this great documentary called Rewind This that's all about the rise of the video store. And it's a huge part of it is because of the movie Basket Case.
I love that movie. I met
yeah.
Frank Henenlotter recently, and like,
Oh, you did?
Oh yeah. So you've probably seen it casually on some of my posts, but outside of what Angel and I do with TMS, is I have a horror podcast as well.
Yeah.
So you and I can also touch base if you want and see if there's, because that's a pre-record, and see if we can set up which I know we can, but if you're down, we can set you up with me and Ron, and you and do some more Blade Manor talk on a different outlet to keep pushing everything for sure. But yeah, I'm a huge like super nerd for all of that kind of stuff. And I had the opportunity, well, this is the one I can find quickly, is that a couple of horror cons that I've been to recently, they brought in Frank Henenlotter as like a guest. I can't really see very well, but anyway, I'm a huge super nerd of his movies. I'm a big Basket Case fan. I love Frank and Hooker. And then the most recent time I got to meet him, I was like, well, I have to get him on his awesome trilogy of movies. So I added him to Brain Damage as well.
Oh, yeah, Brain Damage is so good. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I love Basket Case, dude. I think that movie is just so killer.
Yes, I agree. I wouldn't be able to do the story justice, but in the documentary, they break it down how Basket Case in particular was the movie that really made the video store boom. It's pretty cool.
Oh.
I mean, Basket Case and
Okay.
horror in general, but it was something about that flick. So yeah, it's a pretty awesome legacy to have. And I don't know if I told you this, but I actually worked at a video store for 10 years, like a locally owned ma and pa video store. So it is super important to me, and I do miss it.
Absolutely. No, for sure. I'll definitely check it out. You said what did you say it was called? Rewind This. Awesome. Because I actually did watch a documentary recently, and if you haven't seen it, I think it's on Netflix or it might be on Tubi, but I stumbled across a documentary all about that Blockbuster store in Oregon.
Yeah,
and
I saw it. Super good.
Oh, cool. And that one was super fun, super awesome, and super fun. So I'm definitely going to look up Rewind This for sure. And now that I've got, now that you let me know that there's like a personal connection in with it, oh, dude, sounds definitely super awesome for sure. Angel, my man, right back to you, my friend. We got fan questions. Oh, Brian.
The closest you've come to death.
Me?
Yeah. You could say marriage if you want.
I feel like I should know this. I feel like this is an important question. I'm a pretty careful, safe person. I haven't had too many. Let me think about that. I'm not sure. Sorry, buddy. Whoever.
That's all right.
I don't know off the top of my head. Nothing that memorable, I guess.
Hey, I mean, that's a good thing.
Yeah, for real, definitely.
I think if Steve was on the episode, Psycho Steve, I think he would say his first marriage.
He totally would.
Yeah. Angel, so I would love to know your thoughts on some of the other songs or whatever you want to talk about.
I definitely, like I said, I definitely love "Do or Die." Um, the first song I know is the title track. It's like a great way to really kick off the record. I'm like, if you're gonna kick off a record, that's the song that you actually want to do. But man, I mean, I got a feeling that for the rest of my life, life at the end of October is gonna be on my mind. So you definitely changed my life. Where Halloween, I'll be thinking about that song every year.
Excellent. That's the idea, brother.
And I think I'll be
Great
reflecting.
comment. Thank you.
Yeah. Nope. I mean, that's what I love about the title. Because I know, I don't know. I guess because of the '80s albums, you always look for like the cool titles, and I was like, wow, this is a cool title. So it's like I like the song, because of the title, and then wow, it's a really awesome song, and I'm like, I'm gonna be thinking about this song every year on Halloween.
All right.
The same way Jay thinks about the movie Halloween, I'll be thinking about that song.
Thank you, man.
Oh yeah.
Funny little bit of trivia about Life at the End of October. In the breakdown, like the with the female vocals, the same vocalist did all the vocals on Mistress Blade on the first EP. Her name's Alexa Christos. So she came back and did the vocals on like the end of October on that break. And I went to school with her from literally preschool through high school. So old friends from forever ago.
Mm.
Oh wow.
So
kind of cool.
Were there any songs that were left off that did not make the album?
Yeah. So aside from the Stellar Corpses song that we redid, which was one that I'd written, so on Blade Manor, there's a song called Ruined, and Ruined was a song from like my first band in high school called Ambivalence, and I always liked the song a lot, but felt like the recordings of it previously didn't capture, I don't know, the magic of it. So I really wanted to redo it, and then we re-recorded another song from that band too, but it just wasn't quite right, and I'm gonna come back to it again in the future. Besides that, no, man, that's it. Yeah, what you see on the record. Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Oh, Brian has a question: the Beatles or Elvis?
Elvis.
I wonder who
There
got
was
laid
no
more.
thinking.
No.
I definitely respect the Beatles, but I don't know if I just like, I've heard them so many times. I've been like beaten over the head with it. So yeah, gotta go with Elvis. I really like the Elvis movie that came out too. When Austin Butler played him, I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I do respect
that
the
was
Beatles.
cool.
It's
I
not
like
my
that.
thing.
I like that too. I feel like Hollywood is actually starting to get a little bit of their act together when it comes to biopics, because there was a lot of biopics that I still really like, but you could definitely tell that they're like Hollywooded up. Like I still love the Rockstar movie, the one loosely based around Ripper Owens joining Judas Priest. I still really like that movie. It's a lot of fun. We've actually had a cast member of that movie on our show before. It's a cool movie, but like with what they've been doing recently, at least when it comes to music, between like Bohemian Rhapsody, Rocket Man, Elvis, and I'll even throw the Straight Outta Compton NWA movie, because honestly, I thought that movie was very well done. I feel like they're starting to understand a little bit where like there's certain Hollywood aspects that just kind of come with the territory, but they seem to kind of be understanding musical journey stories a little bit better. But that Elvis movie was definitely pretty good.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I know the Def Leppard story was a fucking miss. They did one on the one they did on Def Leppard with on VH1.
Oh, go ahead, Angel. It looks like it sounded like you were cutting for a second, my guy.
Oh, sorry. No, the one that VH1 did on the Def Leppard story.
Let me jump in on this one for sure. But no worries there, my friend. But when it comes to like other stuff, one of the other songs that I think was like super duper cool, actually a couple of songs that I thought were super cool, was you've got Fever Dream and you've also got Psycho Summer, which I think is like some of like just fun traditional horror punk titles that I think are really cool. And to take a little page out of Angel's playbook, and then Angel, come right back in on this as well.
Yeah.
We love to ask our guests about like how they stylize songs. Like, is it about riffs? Is it about lyrics? Or is it about sometimes an album title? Is there a style is there a formula that works for you, Emilio?
It's kind of all across the board. Like sometimes I'll think of a title and that'll inspire me to write a story around it. Sometimes I'll have a melody, like a chorus line, and I feel like if a melody is catchy enough that it stays in my head for like 2 weeks, then it'll catch on it with other people, get stuck in other people's heads. And then sometimes it'll just start from strumming my guitar. I usually will write a song with a guitar in my lap. That's kind of like my main tool. Mm-hmm. Funny thing about Psycho Summer is I really wanted that intro to sound like something John Carpenter wrote. Like I love John Carpenter's scores. So that was a big inspiration to me for the intro of Psycho Summer before it really kicks in.
Oh, nice, dude. That's super duper cool. Actually, a fun little story about the Creature Feature event that I'm going to with Ron is Babes isn't able to make the trip with me because she started this new job. So she's just trying not to take too many extra days off. But Halloween is her favorite franchise. And so she's got a giant Halloween movie poster that she's been taking around to cons to get signed by everybody in the franchise as much as she can. And they Creature Feature, I forget the actual actor's name, but he was the original Tommy Jarvis from the little boy that was being babysat from the original movie. So, she was like, oh, damn, I would really like to meet him. I was like, I got you covered, babe. I'll take your poster with me. I will make sure that he is added to your poster, especially with that one being a rarity. But yeah, John's ability to just do score work and whatnot is probably unrivaled, at least as far as somebody who can do both the musicianship and the directing when it comes to movies.
Yeah. I mean, I think Big Trouble in Little China was the third movie I ever saw when I was a child. Like Wizard of Oz was first, then Star Wars, and then Big Trouble. So like that score is permanently like carved into my psyche and my heart. And I love, funny story, what's such a bummer? John Carpenter and his son's band performed in Santa Cruz the same night.
Wow.
Yeah, but it was the same night Stellar Corpses was playing with Blitzkid at the bowling alley. So I had to miss it. We were all, Goolsby and I were so bummed. Like we would have all loved to have seen John, but I couldn't believe that fucking timing. Can you believe that? Such a bummer.
Yeah, oh my God. I would have I think that story just killed a part of my soul. So like I could only imagine what it must have done to you guys.
Yeah, my friend Vanessa took I have a giant thing, theatrical one sheet, and she took it and had him sign it. It's beautiful. I'll show you another time, but it's got his signature, big silver, and it's great. I've got a couple of his signatures now, but I still got a little piece from that night. But yeah, it was just unfortunate timing.
Oh yeah, man. No, I definitely get you on that. I was actually telling a friend that story recently, just about working on Babes's poster, and I was like, I feel pretty confident that at some point, I'll be able to get her John Carpenter because he makes the rounds. He does get around when it comes to the con scene. So I'm like, there is a part of me that feels pretty confident that we'll be able to get him on her poster. I'm unfortunately, and this is not a knock to her, it's just something I had heard her say. We are not optimistic in any way for Jamie Lee Curtis because we knew that she had done a con. I think it was actually out in California, or maybe it was Horror Hound in like, who knows, Cincinnati or Indiana or something like that. But anyway, she had done a con before, and I think had promoted it as like, I'm gonna do one big thing and then it's a wrap. So
Well, I hope that you guys make it happen.
yeah.
And it's definitely possible. And I've heard she's really nice, so you never know, man. Yeah,
totally. No, 100%. And she's done well with some cool stuff. Like she's got Nick Castle on there. She's got Tony Moran, the unmasked original Michael. She's a super nerd for Danielle Harris, so she was really excited when she got to meet Danielle for the first time. All like 3'2" of her. If you've ever actually met her,
I'm a fan.
She's a little bit of a thing, but no. So it's definitely super cool. And the most recently, actually, which was actually pretty cool, is she got Hannah Hall, who was Judith Myers in Rob Zombie's Halloween, but she was the young Jenny in Forrest Gump.
Wow.
So like the little girl version of Jenny when Forrest met her on like the school bus and stuff when they were kids, that was Hannah Hall. And then she ended up playing, Judith Myers in Rob Zombie's version of Halloween. So that was actually a pretty cool one, was to get that one done. For sure, man, definitely. But yeah. Angel, let me kick it back up to you there, my sir.
Guys, really quick, my phone might die.
Of course.
Hopefully not. I'm surprised it has died so much. But anyway, so if it disconnects, it's not me hanging up on you guys.
No problem.
Hey, no worries, man. It's all good. So just in case that's a thing there, Metal Summoners, we're going to rock with Emilio for a little while longer. We've got time with him, and we're super stoked about everything that we're talking about when it comes to Blade Manor. But that being said, just in case, Angel and I are going to say it's last call for alcohol. So any final questions, comments, anything that you want to hit Emilio with, make sure that you guys pump them into the comments. And that way we can definitely make sure that your guys' questions get answered. But just in case that's a scenario, I want to make sure that you guys are heard. So last call for alcohol, pump in any questions or comments that you guys want to hear, because now's the time. Just in case, we simply want to think ahead. Right back to you, Angel.
A question from Brian. Musically and non-musically, what advice would you give to your teenage self?
Non-musically, I would say save money and start working out. And meal prep. Don't spend so much money eating out all the time. Musically, I would say work with a metronome. Play guitar and bass to a metronome so you have correct time. There were so many times when I'd write a song on bass or guitar and give it to my drummer or drummer at the time, and they would say, this is all over the place. But in my head, it would be perfect time. But when you sit down with a metronome, no. Different story. And I guess I would just say, I don't know, man. I look back and I think it's never wrong to be kind. And I always try to tell myself to just be a kind person. And not that I wasn't in the past, but I just wish I was always kind-hearted. And I don't know. Does that make sense? I mean, I feel like teenagers are so nasty sometimes, and even like young 20s. So I always have my mom's voice in my head telling me to be nice, even if you don't want to. So I guess I would just go back and just say, be a little more gentle. Does that make sense? I don't know.
That makes sense.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And
Angel, if I can, oh no, go ahead, Angel.
I was going to say my final question.
Gotcha.
The record's done. Are you ever thinking maybe I should have changed this or that on the record, or are you happy? You're content with how the album is right now?
Oh man, you guys have the best questions. I so appreciate that, man. Great question, Angel. No matter what art you do, if you're a painter or a musician or whatever, there's always going to be something you're unhappy with, or it could have been a little bit better. But the thing is, if you tinker, especially with a song, too much, it'll never come out. You eventually have to say, okay, it's finished, and then send it out into the world. Yeah, there's little things here and there that could have been better, that I could have improved on. I'm a much better singer now. I've been working very diligently on my vocals and having more control and more melody instead of like shouting. So on some of the songs, I could definitely sing them better now. But overall, no, I'm very happy with it. I think Blade Manor kicks so much ass, and I really think that no matter who you are, what music you like, or even if you're not into punk or metal or whatever, there's going to be something on this record that moves you. And that makes me very happy, and hopefully that resonates with people. So to answer your question, yeah, there's little things I would change, but overall, no, I'm pretty stoked on it, man. Very proud of it, and I'm very proud of my team and my bandmates that have been behind me. And it takes a village. This whole record took a goddamn village to bring into reality. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes. No, absolutely. And actually that's an amazing bridge on this question I wanted to get into. Real question with the time that we may or may not have with you to finish things up is with the original EP and now with Blade Manor, and this being 100%, the Emilio Menze show as the front man, as the lyricist. And, when it comes to this, how have you found the maturity of, Dark Ride to this point where you've got the first EP and now you've got your second album? So this will be a fun, question to revisit throughout the years of multiple Dark Ride albums, because dude, you're always welcome. But how have you now seen Dark Ride progress and mature from your first EP and the learning curve up until the second record, and the learning curve that I can only imagine you're still having, but maybe have a slightly somewhat firmer grasp on, if that makes sense?
Yeah. Well, this time around, the songs are definitely more personal to me, and there's I wanted more of a variety, and I don't know, man. I can't sell something I don't believe in, and if I write a song and put it out, it's because I believe in it very much. I definitely took more chances this time. Like there's some different, like the synthesizer stuff and just bells and whistles that I wouldn't normally use, that I kind of took a risk on, and I think it's awesome. But all of you will be the judge. And I guess I still stick to, like, I just try to write songs that I would like, that express myself. And right now with my current lineup, my bandmates are so awesome and so passionate, and like they all want to be there. Like there's no pulling teeth with any of my guys and my gal playing drums. So they fully believe in me, and they help me flesh out the song so much. For instance, Ryan Hagum, one of my new guitarists, does that ripping solo on Rest in Pieces. That is so badass. Like I couldn't have written that or played it. Rob Hioto did an excellent solo on Psycho Summer. Like the finger tapping part, it's cool stuff. So all of my people have contributed, and so I guess that's my roundabout way of saying the songs are more fleshed out on this record because I had more people contributing.
Absolutely, man, for sure. And so I'm going to combine my last question for you because, of course, Angel and I always want to be respectful of your time, whether technology works against us or not. Of course, you've been incredibly gracious, my friend, and I definitely want to allow you to enjoy your evening as well. So I'm going to kind of combine my last two questions. One, please, we would love to hear you give a little bit of love to your band and let the fans know who's playing with you when they come out to a Dark Ride show. But then also, I'd love to hear you speak a little bit on just, again, you and I go back a ways now as well. But when you look back at, all of your musical experiences from 15 years with Stellar Corpses, your time with Mr. Monster, touring with multiple bands in the scene, what have you learned from those other experiences that benefit, the success of Dark Ride?
Off the top of my head, what I've learned is to soak it up, to smell the roses, to enjoy these things. Say it's a long 6-hour car ride, to enjoy talking to this bandmate that you have at the time, to enjoy every show, to enjoy the load in, to enjoying the sound check, of course, enjoying the performance and all those things, but enjoying the laughter and the fun stories you have with your wild, crazy bandmates. Enjoying when you get to stay at a friend's house and they make you a home cooked meal, or they happen to have a hot tub or some cool surprise. Just soak it up and enjoy it. I always tell my musician friends if they're on like a long tour, like, guys, you're gonna be home before you know it. So really, just enjoy the moment and be grateful to your bandmates. Be grateful to the promoter, the people working the bar. Be grateful to the fans, of course.
I think tech might have gotten us.
Yeah.
Metal Summoners, I'm going to jump in real quick. If Emilio comes back in with us, of course, we'll allow him to continue. But we really, really appreciate you guys for sure. You know, Emilio had given us a precursor that there was the potential for this happening, but we will make sure that, of course, we bring him back on whenever he's ready to come back on and chat some more once the album's out. And of course, I also extended an invitation to him as well, because of course, you know, Angel and I are always very, very open to having guests on the show as well. And I had told Emilio, hey, if there's ever a guest that there it is. If we ever have a guest on the show that he's down for the cause, I was like, hey, Emilio, call me, brother. We would always love to have you on as a commentator and have a little bit of fun. So Metal Summoners, thank you guys so much for rocking out with us, showing Emilio so much love, showing Dark Ride so much love. Speaking, you know, candidly and personally for a moment, Emilio is one of my nearest and dearest friends. If you guys hadn't picked up on that, I've known him for many, many years. He called me a month ago when it came to the record coming out, and he straight up asked to come back on the show, which is a testament to you guys. And is also a testament to Stephen Angel as well, with the way that we always try to conduct this show, is that guests they feel welcome and feel welcomed to always return to talk about any of their projects and anything that they're passionate about. So it's very important, and a real, it gives Angel and I the feels. It gives us that warm and fuzzy feeling knowing that one of our guests, regardless of personal relationships, wanted to come back to use our platform to talk about the record. And I didn't even know until you guys knew that we were his first live interview to talk about Blade Manor. So we want to thank Emilio for that courtesy and that trust that he instilled with us. But again, Metal Summoners, please make sure that you guys are... Oh, go ahead, Angel. Absolutely, brother.
No, I mean, just the fact that we become friends with a lot of these our guests, like the Midnight Devils.
Yes.
Gosh, I mean, they welcomed me to host a couple of shows with them and to host more shows when they tour again.
Yeah, dude.
So that's it was.
I've been talking regularly with the Sinful Lily guys and David from Demon Christ ever since we had them on the show. So, like, you know, the relationships form.
Yeah, I mean, King and Valentino, we traveled to California to host the shows out there, and DK is. And I got us lost at the show in Georgia. Can't believe I've seen them in many different states. But yeah, I got us lost in Georgia on the way to the gig.
But for sure, man. And just like Angel was saying, that's what it's all about, Metal Summoners. It's about the community. It's about those relationships. And it's simply about support. You guys show us so much support. You wear our t-shirts just like you would wear Emilio's band's t-shirts, or a Kickin' Valentina shirt, or a Midnight Devil shirt. So we really, really appreciate all of those courtesies. So that being said, again, Please, guys, make sure that you're checking it out. In 8 days is the release of Dark Ride's Blade Banner on Fiend Force Records. I've already pre-ordered the vinyl for myself. You can pre-order the vinyl. You can pre-order the CD. You can also get it when it's released on social media platforms as well. I'm, myself, Angel, we're physical media people. I happen to love vinyls. I've got Emilio's first EP on vinyl. And if any of you guys saw the TikTok video that I did on the Metal Summit TikTok, I was letting them know, like, hey, I've got the EP vinyl, and that thing is incredibly lonely. So that thing needs the new album to be right next to it to brighten up its day. But anyway, make sure you guys are going out and checking out the album. It really does rock. We know that us as a traditional hard rock and metal show, we venture into the horror punk stuff. That's horror punk's a big part of my life. And like I said, like Angel said, the album is so fun. It's going to live on your Halloween playlist. The October track alone is so perfect for the season. And you guys are really, really going to love it. So again, next Friday, March 27th, is the release officially of Dark Ride's Blade Manor. So make sure you guys are checking it out. You're absolutely going to love it. And you still have the opportunity to get a physical release of the record as well through Fiend Force Records and Massacre Records. You guys can definitely find all of those connections on the Dark Ride Facebook page. They also have an Instagram and everything like that. When it comes to the social media, since we're on that topic, make sure you're checking out everything that Angel does. You can find him at Angel Alamo 78 on Instagram. He also has a personal Facebook page as well. He's always letting everybody know, of course, anything he's doing as far as hosting on behalf of TMS or just other shows that he's at. Myself as well. Salem.vampire on Instagram. I have a Salem Vampire Facebook page as well, and I have a personal page also. When it comes to our beloved Psycho Steve, the real Psycho Steve on Instagram, and also PsychoStevePresents.com. He works with things like I Heart Horror and all kinds of other things, like the winery that you've seen him do events at, that Angel's been at as well. Very, very cool stuff that all of us collectively, when it comes to the Metal Summit family, are always very involved in. You even saw a return of our beloved, fraternity member and Bobby Dreyer. He popped on recently for our anniversary, and it was super cool to see him. He and Angel got to hang out at the shows recently with the Midnight Devils. Super duper cool when it comes to that. But when it comes to the Metal Summit, please make sure that you're following the Metal Summit specifically on Facebook and YouTube. That's where the show is live. That's where you guys got to see Emilio tonight, and that's where the interviews are always at. Definitely make sure you're subscribing to the YouTube page, because that's where the interviews live at. And of course, a lot of our announcements do start off on our Instagram page. So it's very, very much important that you guys follow the Instagram as well for everything going on in the Metal Summit world. But Angel and I are going to sign off for the evening. Thank you guys so much for rocking out on a special Metal Summit Thursday episode on behalf of Emilio Menze and Dark Ride. Make sure that you're, of course, following Dark Ride on all of their socials, their Facebook, their Instagram. And show Blade Manor so much love and support. Angel and I promise you guys won't be disappointed. It's an absolutely fucking bitchin' killer record. But we look forward to having Emilio on again in the future to talk about how Blade Manor's been doing since its release. And we'll definitely be in contact with him for that. Maybe I'll have him on. We'll reach out to him to hook up for one of our Halloween episodes, because like you guys know, I pretty much tend to dominate the October month when it comes to the Metal Summit.
Yep.
So maybe that might be the perfect opportunity to bring Emilio back to talk about how it's been, for like the 6-7 months since its release, to get everything fixed up, talked about, have a little bit of fun Halloween chatter and everything in between. But again, thank you so much, Metal Summoners. We love you guys. We're going to sign off for the evening on behalf of Angel, Psycho Steve, and of course myself, and on behalf of our nearest and dearest friend, Emilio Menze and Dark Ride. We really appreciated his courtesies tonight, and we will rock out with you guys. We got a double episode for you guys next week. We will be live on Tuesday and on Wednesday, and we are going to have, that's all you
We're
guys.
We're going to have exact.
We are going to have a great one. We were reached out by not only a TMS alumni again, but a dear friend for a killer live show that he's going to be putting on, that Angel and I and Psycho Steve will be at. and that is going to be an absolute great time. And you guys are going to get to hear all about it first. And that's all you guys are going to get for now. But if you guys know a little thing or two about when it comes to Angel and me and Steve at certain events of a certain Maryland-based promoter, I think you guys might be able to figure it out. But that will be on Tuesday. And then we got a killer episode on Wednesday. The guest announcements will come out over the weekend, and we're super stoked to see you guys in a week. Thank you so much for rocking out. Thank you guys for supporting Dark Ride. Thank you for supporting Emilio. And we'll see you guys in a week. Guest announcements over the weekend. Again, on behalf of myself, Angel, and Psycho Steve, be good. Take care. Keep listening to music and buy the Dark Ride album. Thank you as always. As always, you've been watching The Metal Summit.